Hi there, it's Alastair McPhee here, the Managing Editor and Recruitment Training Officer at Kuhn Review Print Speaking to the Blind. This morning I had the great pleasure of speaking to the Older Persons Third Sector Network, a Zoom call with 21 different organisations representing organisations like Caretis, the Fire Brigade, the Community Healthcare Partnership, a whole range of different groups organised by Eastern Bartonshire Voluntary Action. Some of these groups, as you can see this morning, were represented on some of the stills that we showed. And I must admit, I was delighted to also see our friend and colleague Muriel Connell taking part in the presentation this morning. And it's been brilliant to have Muriel representing our organisation on the network for the last few months as our volunteer representative, and I'm very grateful for Muriel doing that. However, when we started the presentation, we highlighted two things: how you can access the audio from Kuhn Review, and how you can then also become an ambassador for Kuhn Review. So this is the front page of our website, the Kuhn Review Print Speaking to the Blind website, and we had some news for them. We highlighted the toolbar, the accessibility widget, and we made it very obvious to everybody that we wanted to encourage other groups to consider having improved accessibility on their websites, basically actually meeting their legal requirements. We highlighted you could find us on the web at kuhnreview.com, and we showed the Google rankings where Kuhn Review comes up quite highly when you type in Glasgow Talking Newspapers, and it highlights the various pages that are available for people to access. You can then click the VIP audio for the free daily podcasts, and that was the VIP audio button that is highlighted in the top left-hand corner of the website here. It also shows that you can listen to the Herald Scotland, the Glasgow Times, Inside Soap, and the National, as well as looking at the lockdown podcasts that are currently on the Eastern Bartonshire radio player on the BWBF player. We then encourage people to click on the newspaper that they wanted to listen to, and in this case that would be the Herald Scotland. And it then brought up the Herald Scotland's player. This is the British Wireless for the Blind Funds player, the BWBF web player, and it allows people to play, stop, fast forward and rewind articles, and it has just some of the 300 odd articles that our 15 home recording teams members are recording every single week across our various titles, something that we are very grateful for. We then highlighted that you can listen to talking newspapers from across the country on your mobile phone using the BWBF app. There are some 600 different talking newspaper groups across the UK at the moment. Sadly, though, due to the lockdown, some of them have taken a break, and we're in fact one of the few that are still recording right now. We encourage people to download the Talking Newspaper app by visiting the Apple App Store or the Android Google Play. And we then encourage them to look for the yellow newspaper symbol with the headphones and the BWBF link, highlighting that this is the official BWBF app. We then pointed out to them that the service is not just for, the app is not just for visually impaired people, it's also for reading impaired people. So someone who perhaps doesn't consider themselves to have a sight problem, maybe just has cataracts as a temporary measure or some other form of sight difficulty, can access the service, but also maybe somebody with dementia that you might know, who would still enjoy listening to human voices or some of the stories or some of the, even in the Inside Soap articles, knowing what's going on in soap operas, maybe giving them the opportunity to listen to what we are recording every day and every week. We highlighted that people might be eligible for free players from the British Wireless for the Blind Fund's website at blind.org.uk, and we encourage people to visit the site, while also highlighting that the Roberts player here has large buttons designed for older people and yellow and black writing on them, because that is the ideal option if you're wanting to have access as a reading or visually impaired person. But we then went on to highlight just how much we need access to audio ambassadors, the people that basically sell our free service to members of the public who perhaps don't realise that we exist, or maybe know that we exist but don't consider themselves eligible to access our service. And we encourage people to visit theqnreview.com/promotion page. We highlighted some of the existing audio ambassadors that are supporting our service, including our electrician and Jamie Riley, also Paul Sweeney during his visit to the Trustees Savings Bank in Springburn. Michael and Liz were there handing out leaflets and showing off the Sonata player. And Macintosh from Business Gateway was highlighting the app on her mobile phone. And of course, our old friend Sandra Sutton at Twicker Healthy Living Centre, when Michael went along to speak to Sandra. She, along with the other staff at Twicker, are aware of our service and know that it's important that if somebody approaches them that maybe has a sight or reading impairment, that they now know the best place to go to get information not only on Q Review's titles, but other talking newspaper titles as well. We then, though, specifically targeted people who maybe aren't able to get out and about at the moment, and we encourage them to visit the qnreview.com promotion page with a view to sharing social media memes. These are the memes that we've created across local authorities using the RNIB estimated figures for the numbers of people living with sight loss in local authority areas. So, for example, here in Eastern Bartonshire, 4,350 people live with sight loss right now. And it's important that they're not the registered blind people. They're not the people that will be supported by the social work department. They're people that don't see themselves perhaps as having a visual impairment, but they are living with some level of sight loss. And our services and other talking newspaper services could benefit their lifestyle. We then also highlighted the Q Talk section of the promotion page, where we have currently some 16 different interviews with organisations ranging from Scottish War Blinded through Erskine to Visibility Scotland, Triple Tap Tech, just to name a few. And the most recent interviews being with a former volunteer who's really done well for himself, the programme controller at Central FM, Liam McCann, and of course, our very own editor-in-chief at the NewsQuest Scotland titles, Donald Martin, who's editor also of the Herald Scotland and the Herald Sunday. It turns out, during our interviews with him recently, we also discovered that he's a former Bishopbriggs High School boy, and he didn't know that Q Review was in the store cupboard on the third floor of the building, and that was where we founded. Finally, we then encourage them to visit our Contact Us page, qnreview.com/contact us, where people can download our new QR code, the Linktree code, that's linktr.ee QR code, where it lists all of the various main pages and main sites that you can access our service. And we encourage people to follow us on our social media, namely Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook, where you can follow us at Cuand Review. That's CUEANDREVIEW. 21 different organisations today heard about our service and were encouraged to become audio ambassadors. And we maybe also provided a little bit of a carrot today by suggesting that we would also be really keen to speak to them about how we as Q Review, through our Q Talk series, could interview them about how they could get their messages out to people with visual or reading impairments that maybe did not know about the service that they were providing. And quite a few of them have shown interest in taking that service up. So please, as a reader and as a supporter of Q Review, please do what we're suggesting here. Visit these web pages on our site and help us promote our service. It is amazing that the 15 people who are recording from home right now are doing such fantastic work, reading the 300 articles per week, and many of them uploading them themselves to the server. But it's even more important that we reach as many blind and visually impaired people, as well as reading impaired people across the UK, by you sharing our information on your social media, and by you also encouraging your friends and family to follow our YouTube channel, follow our Facebook pages and social media pages, and for them also to become audio ambassadors, because just in case they happen to bump into someone who knows somebody else who has a seeing issue. You can do so much by just posting one of our memes or highlighting one of our talks. So once again, really appreciate all the effort that's been put in by everybody right now. We especially appreciate those people who are not directly involved in working with us, but are still helping promote the service. And I would encourage you, as our managing editor, to keep up your sterling work, to keep up our listener figures, and to keep reaching more visually impaired people. So thank you for listening. Please subscribe, please follow us, and please keep sharing. Thank you.